Welcome to the Reset Button, episode 24. So this is the one that you guys specifically asked for. So I hope you're out. I hope you're ready for this thing, because this week we're going to be talking about some MMO. Is it RPGs? It could actually be MMO, quite a few different things. But we'll get into the bulk of it in just a moment. Of course, whenever I'm having this podcast here, it's not just me. We have a little roundtable discussion here. I'd like to introduce a level 50 paladin, Johnny Chase.
What's a paladin? people get that reference. I just realized we're not really a round table because we're just three. It would be more like a triangle.
It's as round as it gets.
Three corners.
Okay, it's a very sharp table.
Yeah.
We're a trifecta.
Yeah. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. In the midst of ready for this discussion, I booted up one of my favorites I've logged in quite a number of hours on, so I'm ready to talk all about it.
Perfect. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Lord Goth got it in the chat. Ultima 9.
We also have, I don't want to constantly make all World of Warcraft references here. So we'll go with the class that's not even in World of Warcraft here. We'll say that Liz is a level 50 bard.
Yes.
Boom.
Just funny enough that we're making weird fantasy references because I have to multitask. I'm working on RPG pants. How cool is that?
RPG pants?
So don't mind me, everyone. I'm making pants for a cosplay. And it's medieval.
Well, I mean, I guess this is a suitable topic for that, I suppose.
This is like a fitting subject today.
Perfect. So the subject, as I mentioned, is MMOs. And of course, not every MMO is an RPG. There's MMO FPS. There's quite a few different genres that I can't immediately think of, but they're out there. But I think whenever somebody mentions or says MMO, we all know what they're thinking. MMORPG. And anymore these days, they're thinking Final Fantasy XIV. Does anybody disagree with that?
Oh my god. It dominates.
We'll have to see in the next coming weeks, because the latest WoW expansion is coming out, and man, Active Blizzard and Xbox are like really shoving that in people's faces right now. Like I can't log into a Twitch chat or stream without getting an ad for World of Warcraft right now. And we're getting live action ones.
Dude.
Like there's like ones where it's like, hey, you remember playing this game like what 24 odd years ago? Here's a sword. It's like pick it back up and get back in. I don't know if it's been 24 years. God, I'm trying to remember how. Oh, it's
been 20. It's been 20.
Close. 20? Yeah.
It's been 20.
It's getting close there. Yeah.
It launched
myself, like, when did I start playing that? It's like, yeah, it was like shortly after college.
Yeah, it launched in 04. So it's, my God, 20 years of World of Warcraft. That's crazy. And I know that that's something we'll probably get into in the thick of. At least I will, because that is a big one for me. But, you know, I know I could talk all day about this, so I want to hear more about what you two have to say. Oh, because I go way back in some stuff, even before people were calling them MMORPGs.
Okay, start with the origins, Patrick. You're already
I got some nerd
rolling
shit.
the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with like the oldest of old school thing that you can think of.
The oldest of old school thing I can think of, if anybody's ever heard of them, not all of them. I should go ahead and preface before somebody comes in here and they're like, "You don't know what you're talking about, nerd." Yeah.
I'm actually.
I think you need to really research. Oh my God. But one of the earliest things I can remember before I started playing like City of Heroes or anything like that is we got into what's called multi-user dungeons, aka MUDs. And that's why I say not all of them are RPGs. There are some of them, like there was the Dragon Ball Z MUD back in the day where that was just pure, there are no RPG elements to it. You just beat the shit out of each other. But basically, for anybody who doesn't know what a multi-user dungeon or a MUD is, it's all text-based. It's all command line. So no visuals whatsoever.
So fun. Do people do this still?
Oh, yeah.
No, do people do this still? I feel like I'd enjoy this. Okay, please continue.
So there were quite a few different ones. Some of the biggest ones I can remember was, and I may butcher the pronunciation, but Achaea was a really big one. Very, very massive. Down to different ones that was fairly popular back in the day. Like Anime MUD was a big one. Which, funny story on that one. Someone I know actually at one point moderated in there in Anime MUD. Somehow got the code and then used it to create Anime MUD 2. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if there was any copyright or anything like that. I don't know if my friend broke the law. Couldn't tell you. But I can tell you that I then helped him build some of that, and Anime MUD 2 was just a degenerate pile of insanity. But the main thing with that is you could go around just like in old late 80s RPGs on PC where it was like, it gives you a description. You're in a room. You see XYZ. What do you want to do? You go north, south, east, west, attack this, do that. And it was also a big thing where you could have massive amounts of PvP. Talking massive. There were certain like areas you could go to, especially in Achaea. You could go into like the square of like, say, a major city or something like that where people were throwing down, maybe big battles happening. And it was next to impossible to figure out what was happening because the text would just be scrolling across the screen that fast. And if people had macros, because, you know, again, it's all text-based, some people would have macros to just do like AoE attacks. For anybody who doesn't know what that means, area of effect. So full AoE attacks on everything around in the area. Next thing you know, you're just walking in there trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and then you're dead. Whoops. It was crazy. It was hectic, especially if you don't know how to type very well. Oh boy. That was a big ass problem, because keep in mind, like I said, it's all text based, no visuals. So if you are not the best at typing, or you make a mistake with what you're trying to type in, it won't accept. It has to be a perfectly spelled command. So you got to be quick, you got to be accurate, you got to know what's going on, or you're going to get flattened.
Can you see a crossover of like any like MUDs with like Mavis Beacon typing? Like ever? Do you think that's a possibility? Can we make it happen?
I think we can make it happen, but I think MUDs probably do still happen
I
this
would play
day.
it.
But I don't know, like, how many people are on that. Like, who else doing that these days?
I feel like I could do that. I like it. I'm also a really fast typist, and everyone's like gives me a face in like any public setting. It's very strange.
So yeah, you could even make macros and make it even faster for yourself. Like in the Kea, there is, oh god, I can't remember the name of them, but basically it's a class of serpent people, and one of the things you can do is you can poison your enemy by biting, and then you could just if you don't have a weapon, punch him to death. So you would make a macro to make sure that you would, you know, basically infect them with the toxin. Then you would punch, do that again, on, because much like MMORPGs, there are cooldowns for attacks. So now you're seeing where the groundwork for an MMORPG is coming from. Yes, they did come from MUDs. I don't care what people said, they came from MUDs. Because cooldowns did happen in these games. You couldn't just belt out attacks as quickly as you could type, because then like the most like I haven't seen the sun in 2 years basement dwelling nerds would rock these things. So there were rules, there were mechanics. It was a game, but not a video game. I don't know. Chet, would you call it a video game?
Say, yeah, it is.
Yeah, yes. Text-based adventure games are games.
Yeah.
No, it's a game, but is it a video game?
Well, yeah, you have a screen. You're staring at a screen, right? Yeah. That's
okay.
A video game, dude.
Like, what's like the Blork? What's the like really old school RPG DOS game? Like old, like the Blork, whatever. Not DOS. It's called, I don't even know.
Zork.
Zork. Yeah. Zork.
Oh, it's like I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. A Blork. Like I would consider that a video game, let alone you're interacting with like other people. I don't know like the limitations of it, the capacities and limitations of HUDs, but like or MUDs. MUDs. So yeah, I would say so.
Oh, there are HUDs in MMORPGs, heads up displays. Yes.
No. I got confused because I don't talk about MUDs. I talk about HUDs.
Yeah.
So that is probably the earliest I could recall of like me touching anything, because like I know there was Ultima Online that existed like back in the 90s and everything, but hey, this broke bitch didn't have a computer, so it didn't happen.
Oh my god, barrier to entry. I think we're like all old enough that like there was a barrier to entry for a lot of online gaming. Is that a good way to put it? Like not everyone had computers or like real internet for so long. So the fact that we were able to have any level of experience, especially at like a really young age, is actually like kind of special and unique in its own way. Actually a privilege, let's be real.
Oh, like for me, like special. I was out in the boonies, I had dial-up, and it was very taxing to try and get online for most stuff.
Me too.
Like I can't remember the name of like MSN, like Microsoft's like I don't know if it was called the Fun Zone or whatever. I'm gonna research this here in a sec, but this is where I would go to play like online demos of like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, or I can't even remember the other ones there, but that was like the only spot you could go to play games. I think it was called MSN Zone.
No, that wasn't able to participate in any of that.
Like it's weird. It still exists, but it's a bunch of like seniors games, so like solitaire and checkers and chess and stuff.
It still exists. That's crazy.
Yeah, zone.msn.com.
Hey, if people play it.
Hey, I mean, more power
let's
to
be
them.
real. When there's like these legacy websites or services that still keep going, it's so like applaudable that that they are still running. Like, that's super cool. Yeah, it's cheesy and like weird and funny to us, but like you have to think there's probably people that have been playing this stuff for over 20 years that still have connections and have made friends doing this, which is like the coolest part of it all.
I agree. And I wish like services would be kept up for things like that, because not to go completely off subject, but I'd still be playing MechAssault to this day. Like, I love OG Xbox because I spent so many hours playing MechAssault. So many hours.
Yeah. Halo 2. I would love to go back and play old school Halo 2.
See, MechAssault is what my first trial of going to a university. MechAssault is what fucked me up, among other things. But still, that's what fucked me up. And then when Halo 2 came along, it was like, that's it. I'm a useless person now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Once I moved into a house and buddy had an Xbox, I played a few matches of Halo 2. I was like, all right, went to EB Games, bought myself an Xbox and Halo 2 and
exactly
Microsoft or Xbox Live Gold, and like, all right, this is my life now.
How often did you have LAN parties? If you had like a buddy in the house, like, did you actually have people over to do that? Just out of curiosity.
We had, in the Xbox era, only did it like really once. So like, he had his main Xbox, I had mine in my room, and I think someone brought theirs over and shared in like one of the other rooms, and we played that. Not necessarily LAN parties, but we did have one when I was in college. We just told everyone bring over a console and a television, and we just like had one area that was GameCube, one area is PS2, PS1, 64, and just like played whatever. But as like an actual like LAN party, like, hey, bring all your PCs over, we could play Unreal Tournament. Didn't really need to, because the college I went to, it was for like gaming and technology mostly. So we already had like workstations already set up. So we just installed Unreal Tournament on that, and just like everyone just like sat in there, and this is how fucking like nerdy and edgelordy this was. The whole room was painted black. So no light got in whatsoever. So you're just sitting there at the glow of the monitor. You're just like playing Unreal Tournament and Quake 3 Arena. The MMOs again didn't like MMO stuff didn't really take place until after we left college.
That sounds so cringe.
No, I love it. No, it's the energy.
Yeah,
See,
we're sitting there playing all that stuff, and we're not. We're not like working on our own game. It's just like, I need to get a couple more matches in. It's like, yeah, you gotta get that menu interface done before tomorrow. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll throw something in Photoshop real quick. And I'm like, it's the wrong resolution. It's like, it was okay on my machine. I don't know about your machine.
See, the games, getting the game in is more important.
Okay, so I'll go into like early origins, like,
yes, please.
I don't know, MMO or like big multiplayer stuff. I am what you call a deprived child. Okay, a deprived child. We had computers, we had video game consoles. No problem, we had that stuff, right? However, I was stuck with dial-up internet until 2008 when I was a freshman or sophomore. No, it was towards the end of my freshman year of college, I think. Not college, high school. Oh my god, I'm just getting so far ahead of myself. And I couldn't do my internet-based Spanish homework. And I like cried to my parents, and then my dad got us like broadband. So I could not have like real internet experiences, okay? Like, dial-up in the mid-2000s was so painful and ruined my online social life. However, I relished with Neopets. That is like, I don't know if that counts. Does that count?
I think so for the most part.
I mean, it is game-based and community-based and online, and it worked with dial-up internet in most cases. So, Neopets was a phase in my life. Definitely like early internet, like 10-ish years old was definitely like the time frame that I played it, and like the best age to play it, let's be real. However, like we still continued playing Neopets through high school. And even college, may I argue this point of I was playing Neopets like a little over 10 years ago still. Not like hardcore, but my friends and I would set up weird competitions to get like a bunch of Neo points or like certain things in the games. However, like when I was younger, I couldn't get too deep because the connection was so slow. All right. So slow, so bad. And like the minigames, there's only certain ones that like worked consistently with the speeds, but that would definitely be my first big online gaming. I think it's video games. There's a bunch of games and community, so I would consider it online gaming, kind of. Yeah, I guess. So that's one like true one I would say in my book.
No, I'd agree and say it's definitely MMO, and it's an online game. There was something I actually played in high school that was somewhat similar. I cannot remember the name of it. It's been way too long, but basically it's a game where everybody's a mage. You can cast spells to either defend your territory or attack someone. You're supposed to build up, build up, build up until the ultimate thing is you basically cast Armageddon. Up to 3 mages cast Armageddon, and then the round ends. You have your winners, and then start over from there. Thing is, after you cast this, you don't have any other turns. People can come in and kill you to stop you, and then the game continues until 3 people successfully cast it. And it was entirely through a website very similar to Neopets. So I would say so. Man, I spent a tremendous amount in that one. I was even playing it when I was actually in class in high school. Probably shouldn't be doing it, but I was doing it.
Bad.
I know.
Oh.
What a rebel.
Okay, and then I do have another thought. Okay, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this. So since I still had dial-up internet in early high school, so one of my best friends, his dad was super deep into this vampire versus werewolves game. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's like a pretty primitive like online game, like with a whole like RPG leveling system, with the point of like you choose like the werewolf or vampire faction. So I guess I delved into that too. But it was a game that like worked with the limitations of like what I could do. And that was like a weird deep thing we did within like the time frame of a year. And like it was kind of fun bonding with my friend's dad as well. Like he got to like spend time with his dad doing this, and then like he was like a cool dad with all the other kids because we'd all play together, and it was really cute and like wholesome in its own way. So I literally think it was like called Vampires. Like I'm gonna look this up if someone else wants to take the baton.
I was actually curious of looking at myself. I can't find a video game of it, but there's apparently a board game called Vampires versus Werewolves versus Vampires.
I wonder if it was White Wolf that did it.
I think hold on, I'm Googling. It might be Bite Fight. I don't know. Hold on.
Bite Fight?
I don't... Yeah, I think it might be really... Yep, it's a war between baleful vampires and bestial werewolves.
Yeah, I was thinking that was perhaps White Wolf.
I think it might be this game. Huh. Okay, this is something I like literally just thought of. Like I didn't premeditate this; it just like came back to me. I think I will do research and follow up maybe on another episode just to confirm what it is. But I think it might be Bite Fight. As far as I could tell.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I don't want to leave Johnny out of this. What was your first?
It might have been WoW. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it would have been the same roommates that got me into Xbox. He was playing the hell out of WoW, and once again, monkey see, monkey do. I just followed suit. I bought the game at the GameStop, all 6 or 7 discs of it, and took like the afternoon to install the thing because holy shit, that was like 6 CD-ROMs. And I think later on with like later expansions and patches, they put it up to 7 CD-ROM. No, wait. What am I thinking of that had 7 CD-ROMs?
Certainly was not WoW. It was certainly not WoW.
GTA 5.
Okay.
There's actually a version of GTA 5 out there that's on CD-ROM. And there's like 7 CDs to install the thing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. Like,
no.
I have somewhere a physical copy of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. That's 6 discs. But then again, that needs to load all the FMVs in there. So like there's a lot of like film footage with like William Shatner and George Takei and Walter Koenig. Like they put a lot of work into that. Interplay did. No, it would have been WoW. I dabbled a little bit into well, I mean, like with WoW, like I said, it was just, you know, monkey see, monkey do, and then a few other friends got into it, and then got my brother into it, and then unfortunately he got his friend into it, but his friend took it a little bit way too seriously. Like with us, like for us, it was more casual. We put in the hours, we put in the time, like anyone else would. But my brother's friend is kind of the one that kind of got addicted to it, super hardcore. Like this was like, okay, I don't need to go to the bathroom. I have a water jug here. I'll just like.
Whoa! No!
Like, sorry, I can't.
Is he like the kids in South Park insane? Oh.
Well, I would hope he would at least go to the bathroom for the number 2, but number 1 was just piss jugs, like he was a trucker.
Oh my god, no!
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Oh.
I think I've never gotten that far addicted to video games.
See, I was hoping it would be a little bit.
My brother regrets it to this day. He's just like, I should never have shown him WoW. I'm like, no, you should. If you didn't know that. Yeah, you shouldn't have.
How would you know? And you're also like, you're still like young people at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. How would you know?
He would have just gotten it. Like, this would have been 04. So, yeah, they would have gotten it, just gotten out of high school. So, they would have been 17, 18.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I never bought. And the funny thing is like, I played WoW a lot, but I never bought any of the expansions because, like, there's just so much to do in that game that you could, like, go through all bits of content for just the base game and never touch any expansions. I didn't like some of the mods people made for it too, like because like to traverse like the map there, it takes you a while, so you have to pay the toll, ride a griffin or whatever before you can actually get your own rideable. So you got time to kill. I've seen people like install like a version of Bejeweled, and they would play that as they're traversing.
Yeah, that's cool. What I did actually. That's what I did when I was playing.
I'm so sad I missed out on this stuff.
I mean, WoW's still going on.
It's still going, but it's not the same beast at all.
No, definitely not.
Okay, so let me hold on. Patrick, are you like, were you a like a huge WoW guy? Like real talk.
Real talk, not only did I do the PvP side, but I had an Arena 2's partner, and we, like, were fairly serious with throwing down.
Oh my god. Okay, so part of, like, being the deprived kid of having dial-up until I was fucking, like, 16, okay? 15, 16 years old, around that age. So one of my best friends, and I feel like I know in the deepest of her heart she would, like, love to play WoW again. However, my only WoW experience, one of my best friends still to this day, I would farm and level up her character on her behalf. And she basically just said, Liz, just ignore the messages. Just ignore the messages, because I think she might have had, like, WoW boyfriends or something. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to like ignore people, or I knew some people like we knew, and like I wasn't like friends with them, but like her friends that I knew, so I would like troll them and say stupid like nothing that would get her actually in trouble, but I would like say stupid shit.
Oh no!
But then like they would like figure it out, you know. I just say like embarrassing, stupid stuff. However, she was so far leveled along, I have no idea or recollection of like at what point in the game this is. Let's say, like, again, this is probably like between like 2008 to 2010, that time frame. So she's probably highly leveled. So she would incentivize me with our local like diner bakery situation in town. She would like legitimately go out and get me like a fat slice of cheesecake, which was like $5. Which, being high schoolers with minimal money, like I was farming levels for the best cheesecake in town. So
I mean, it's hard to beat that.
Superficial level of playing WoW, and I do get really sad thinking about like missing out on MMORPGs in particular, and what I think is like the heyday, which would be the 2000s. And I have opinions about that, but we can get to that later. But that was my one and only WoW experience over the course of like a summer. I like farmed for cheesecake.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back to the whole like the whole thing. That takes me back to early internet culture. I don't even know if like current internet culture does this, where it's like I have an online.
I'm gonna get my MMO boxes. You guys continue.
We're only boyfriend girlfriend on the game, but outside we have real relationships. But I have this other one here, like that's. Oh man, that's
totally a thing back in the day, like. So, like, I didn't really do, like, MMOs, but, like, I was really active on, like, forums and stuff, and there was that energy, like, interacting with people online. Or AOL Instant Messenger. Oh, my God. Just, like, flirting with boys, you know. But, like, not actually having a real boyfriend, because I was a dork, because I was not cool, because I liked computers and video games and anime and stuff.
Oh, that's, like... My mother was so worried for me as a teenager. It was like ICQ, just meeting random people, and it's like who's this girl that's calling the house? Don't worry about it. It's just like, just be thankful a girl's actually talking to me right now.
No, for real. It's like, I'm so not cool in the real world, but I'm feeling appreciated by people on the internet. Let me just like enjoy this high.
Yeah.
Like, they know my personality and my avatar, and I can be whatever I want.
Knowing what I know now, like, future kids, they are never going to experience that, because I'm clamping that down hard. However, there's probably going to be something new, and I'm going to be like, oh, what's this? I don't get it. Be safe.
Back in my day, my video games had text only to chat.
Don't give out my social, please.
Oh my god. Do you, like, I do not engage, but like VR chat, do you even?
We've played it a few times, but I've only played it like in a group setting. So like I've downloaded it and played it, you know, with my wife Melanie, or with when we do game days for good. We've done that a few times there. I've never
like
actually gone up to I've never gone up to complete strangers and just be like, "Hi, how are you?" and go from there.
Oh,
all right, I am back.
Like, I really miss. I miss that. Okay, Patrick, show us.
I am back, and I actually have a box for the first MMORPG that I bought back in the day.
Okay.
I fiddled around with it, and I didn't play it all that much because, again, I was broke, and I couldn't afford the subscription, and I didn't know what I was doing. So that will kill the fun factor of a game if you don't know what you're doing. I don't have my glasses on me, so I can't look at it, but I want to say this was copyright 2002. Everybody, Dark Age of Camelot. This is this is a very early 2000s one. I still have the box. Pretty sure I still have the disc. What all is in this thing?
I miss physical PC games.
Yeah, like, I've got.
There's like these weird looking boxes.
That's a huge reason why I don't do it.
Yeah, because like with like regular console games, like everything's the same, or they had to keep everything uniform and the same. Like PC, you don't give a fuck. You can make it like that, like the Tomb Raider games. Like there's these weird trapezoid boxes. They're not quite pyramids, but they're just cut off at the top. Like they're so unique. Now everything's just a CD case. Now they don't even sell physical PC games anymore. I think they just sell you an empty DVD case and be like, go to Steam.
Here's your code. It's something like to fill the Walmart shelves, right?
Yeah,
yep, I still have
like rumor says that they're going to begin rid of physical games soon.
Oof.
Ooh,
and I
hate this.
Physical.
Target, Best Buy, Walmart. Boo.
So yeah, I still have the disc and everything for it. So here's the base game. I've got the expansion right here.
Wow.
They've barely been touched all this time. I've got the role-playing guide with all the races and everything in the game. I've got the whole shebang. The one thing I remember about this that was pretty unique is I know you could do this in Ultima Online, but that was before my time. So you could buy houses in this one if you wanted to and just chill. Or there were like big battlefields that you could go in and just start throwing down. This game actually, if anybody is interested, still exists. It's still running to this very day. I don't think it requires a subscription or anything of that nature. I think it's just they offer a free version where it's very limited, and if you want the full like expanded experience, that's when you got to throw some money toward it. Pretty sure. But yeah, this definitely an old one. But you know what? Gotta respect the classics here, folks. The next one I went to, and this is because a friend showed it to me, and I'm a bit of a comic nerd, so I was like, yeah, let's go. I don't know if anybody remembers City of Heroes, City of Villains.
Yes.
I heard of it. Unfortunately, never got to play it. And I've heard stories of them like deleting some people's characters and almost banning accounts too. They're like, please stop making Wolverine. Yeah. Marvel is going to sue us.
They did. That
is hysterical.
Oh yeah.
That is so bad.
They 100% did that. If you were playing a hero and you purposely made your character look like Iron Man, you were out. They didn't give you a warning. They just got rid of you. So it was a game that
control what people do.
They tried. They tried so hard, but it just didn't work. So I mean, I had fun with it for the most part but again, I really didn't get heavily into it because the barrier again was I didn't have any money. And that again is going to be the continuing factor for a lot of these, because one of the things that we have to mention for anybody who doesn't play MMORPGs is they usually come with a subscription. Why a subscription? I guess we should probably talk about that if we're going to talk about MMORPGs.
You gotta run servers. You gotta run updates and fix patches and things. There's people behind the scenes, and I get it. But that's why I don't play.
There's that. There's also usually like little trickling of additional content that they put in, and they don't charge for it. Like all of a sudden they're just like, here's an additional dungeon you didn't know about. Go for it. And different things like that that's dropped in throughout the time. So it allows additional development to happen. And I know at least this is true for World of Warcraft, or at least back in the day. They did have a team of people that would watch various replays of teams to make sure that the dungeons were fair. And if it turned out that people were getting like shit on at a certain time in the dungeon, and it wasn't just one team, it was like everybody, they would have to rethink that area and say, well, maybe it needs to be reworked. Maybe it's unfair. So it allows for that as well. Cool. So I know that
that's totally fair and valid. Oh yeah, I think that's totally fair and valid, but like, I don't know. So I've been in like this position for easily like over 10 years. Like the moment I became like an adult and I was not in high school anymore, and it's like, oh, college and work. The amount of time sink that I would put into the internet in high school and younger just like vanished. And this is like a struggle. Like I attempted to play Final Fantasy 14, doing that stuff online. And it's one of those things where it's like, I cannot justify even like a $10 subscription. And I don't even know if anybody does $10 subscriptions, right? I can't even justify $10 a month on something like that, because it's like, I could maybe play once a month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think I need to be billed by like the minute until they get to like, dude, I'm saying it or something. I don't know. Let's send a minute. And once it gets to like the monthly fee, cut it off. I think I need a model like that for any sort of like online game.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
Just
Because,
charge
I
for
mean,
what
like,
use.
basically, because otherwise, if it's like a flat monthly fee, I'm out too, because anymore, like having a daughter and everything, work stability has improved, but now having a kid has made everything else unstable, so I can go back to MMOs. But, that's why there are some out there that don't have subscriptions. Like day one, they didn't have subscription fees, and they did pretty okay. This one, I didn't get as much into this one. Oh, were you going to say something before I shared this?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a lot more of like a modern thing. Like, there's so much like pay to win models since in like the advent of like cell phone games and like apps and stuff like that, that like online games have adapted, where it's like you can just like pay a lot of money to like be good at the game. So like, yeah, they're free, but it sucks. So what's the point?
I'm going to introduce one that didn't do either.
Stuff, you gotta pay for it.
I just had to complain for like 2 seconds there. I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
Please continue.
I was going to say this one didn't have that problem, and it still was free, no subscription. It's called Guild Wars. So I don't know who heard of that.
Oh my god! I remember when Guild Wars 2 came out. Big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I was at GameStop, and also I worked GameStop. It was like my first couple months working there when the Old Republic went online. That was a big deal. Big deal. Yeah, those are like big game launches aside from like WoW expansions that I remember working. And Guild Wars, not a lot of people came for like Guild Wars. I was kind of sad.
No, not a lot of people did. I have it because it was an MMO and somebody said, well, it doesn't have a subscription. I was like, what? Okay. I couldn't get into it because it's hard as fuck. I don't know if anybody noticed that. It's hard as fuck. And then when you would try to ask for help from somebody, they'd just be like, get good. It was like Dark Souls before Dark Souls existed. They're like, get good, scrub. And everybody was like that. Everybody was a dick, man. So I couldn't get into Guild Wars, unfortunately. I mean, I bought it. I played it a little bit. Nothing happened. Then Guild Wars 2 came along. And that was like the big one. Because everybody was saying, oh, this is it. This is it. It's no subscription.
Literally.
They have the budget. They're taking World of Warcraft down. It's finally happening. It's good. I played it. But again, this is one where it's really fucking hard. It is not entirely clear where you're supposed to go after you do certain things in an area. And again, if you ask people, they're like, fuck you, get good, scrub.
Oh.
So... Guild Wars 2 was the Dark Souls of MMORPGs. I hate saying that, but what can I say? What else did I play that I should really talk about before just jumping into World of Warcraft and drowning? Here's one from, I think it was NCSoft that put it out. Yes. Ion was one that came out. A lot of us who paid attention to Ion said that the City of Heroes died so Ion could live, because it seems like they just put all their budget into this, and it did absolutely nothing. I don't think anybody really played this. The big gimmick with it was your character could get wings and you could fly around. And that was never really clear on how to make that happen, how to do anything with it. It was just... It was a frustrating mess. Not good. Not good. But then, I guess I could go ahead and go into all of these then. So, I actually still have some fiscal expansions for World of Warcraft.
Nice.
Oh, can I have a small anecdote?
Yes.
So let me tell you guys, I owned a World of Warcraft once in my life. Okay. So back in the old Screw Attack days.
Oh.
I don't know, like, what compelled me. So I remember Destin had put a post up about, like, hey, make a video and we'll give away free WoW. And I made a video with my brother about like video. I don't even remember everything, but it was just like goofing about like online games or something. And then I won the competition. I got WoW and like a couple of expansions like for free. And then what I did with it, I did not open it because I'm like, the moment I open this, this ruins all resale value. So I like went to the local like retro game shop and I was like, here's the video that won a competition. This is sealed, you see. This is not tampered. Can I get like store credit so I could buy Super Nintendo games? And then I bought Super Metroid because who wouldn't?
I super respect that. That was the best choice ever. Okay, I super respect that choice.
I was like, I really don't play online games, y'all. Like, I just can't. I literally can't. And even then, my computer was so crappy that I had available at the time because my laptop died and I had a bad desktop that like barely functioned. So that was the trade-off.
Well, holy shit. Let's talk about that for a second. Hey, anybody in chat, if you remember anything about Wrath of the Lich King, you're going to know what I'm talking about here. Especially if you had, like, only an okay PC. So let's talk about this bullshit. Wrath of the Lich King, this is my favorite WoW expansion. I can't say enough good things about this. Except when you go to the new capital city in this, which is called... oh, fuck, Dalaran. That's right, it's called Dalaran. And everybody called it Lagaran because it was a small area. It was not like a big city. It was a small area. Everybody would, queue up into it, or they would log into that area. And this is for both Alliance and Horde. So everybody and your fucking server would come to this one spot, and then if you had an okay PC, you were just kind of stick figuring along, just it was awful. Fucking awful. And I remember trying to get some things done, and queuing up for a dungeon and going with some people took me 35 fucking minutes one day because I couldn't move.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was so infuriating.
Oh.
It was terrible. It's terrible. Especially if you don't have a lot of time to burn. You spent all your time in the fucking city.
Oh. That sounds miserable, but something you cannot replicate today.
No.
So here's a thing that I wish I could have experienced. And okay, can you guys like confirm the facts? Because I'm obviously like not like deep into WoW, but like don't they have like a bunch of like old expansions that like got goofed with other expansions like available to play, or like original WoW that you can like load the game and play like the original version? Like, is that a thing?
Oh yeah.
They have it.
WoW Classic.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah. So you can go back and play it before Cataclysm fucked it up.
Yeah. That was like the biggest thing ever. And I do appreciate that like they made that a thing. But I think about like the game designs of like old WoW, and I think there was a lot more opportunity to like lobby and hang out and just like chill with people and talk. But like it seems like people just like only want to like PvP in games and like we're just gonna do the dungeons, blah, 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 and do all that crap. But it's like I think there's like a lack of imagination with a lot of online gamings from what I see on the internet in general, where people just like bullshitting outside of RPG servers.
I noticed that for sure because, like I said, prior to loading up the podcast, I loaded up Star Trek Online just because I was curious where I left off my character, and plus I wanted to warp back to Earth because I wanted to flip the ships that I owned, and like in like the public chats, it was just like spamming websites. It's like, oh, do you need dilithium or do you need Zenny? Go here and trade this. It's like
hotbabeshere.com.
I was like, okay, I get it. Like, just like no one's there to chat. This is probably the reason why one of my friends, when he streams Final Fantasy 14, he just sticks a PNG in his OBS that covers up the chat just to get that garbage off of his stream. Just in case, like, it makes,
like,
or also
Oh, it's not that bad in 14 though.
Just in case someone like drops like the hard R or something in chat,
Oh,
he won't get in trouble.
No.
Oh, they wouldn't do that in 14.
Ow. But,
Well,
you know,
maybe.
I know Aspen Gold, they're like, anytime he plays any games like that, I have an open chat like Diablo or FF14 or anything like that.
Oh no.
If it appears, like, he'll get banned. He doesn't say the word, but if the word appears on display in chat, insta banned.
Ooh, I could see. Okay, I get that now. I would probably do the same because I just thought about it. What if somebody finds out that you're behind that character and they want to get you banned? They'll just whisper you the word. So that'd be,
I mean, that's
even in like
so bad.
Yeah,
that's why most streamers would do it.
Oh fuck! I didn't even think
but
of
then
that.
Again,
because
like if you have that fear of it constantly happening, then you know it's probably more of a reflection on you as a person than would be your chat.
You mean with
a bunch of people are willing to do that to you? Yeah, it's probably because you're a piece of shit yourself. So
yeah,
I'm just saying.
No, but that's like not fun to have to like it's like obviously not you, and it's like I can't control the free will of people, right? And that's super crappy that we like still live in a world like that, right? Super crappy. But like I don't know, I feel like even if I were to like get into MMOs, which like I honestly feel like I would love to have an online retreat with people who I don't know who the fuck they are. We're just here to have fun, you know, play game, bitch about life a little bit to an extent, and just like move on with the day. Like I really miss that with like online forums and like playing Neopets, like bitch about school forums on there, or like when I would attempt to play Gaia online or MapleStory, which never worked on my computer, mind you, barely worked if it did.
Never worked on your computer?
Really?
It's games to run.
Huh?
It just didn't.
You know what MapleStory is, right? Reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it
just didn't.
For those in chat don't know, it's a
super basic
side-scrolling MMO. It's super basic.
Super basic.
And like, I think that was free too, but the only thing that the way they made their money was customization, like hats and outfits.
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
that was a whole drama in itself, mind you. Just like decorating your character, getting like the cool like villainous costume or whatever, or like bikini version, whatever, the ones that were like so expensive or hard to get and like cute and like whatever. But I just like miss the bullshit, and like there's also like a lost anonymity with like a lot of online stuff, like for the good and like the bad, right? I don't know, it's like I feel like there's a lost world because people like only want to do the gaming part, and they go on their own little private discords and chat, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like the sense of community is something that's like lost to an extent.
Well, see,
that was something I wanted to set up with Star Trek Online. Is to like set up a day where we would get online to play. But I'm finding out now that, you know, people my age or close to my age, we all have, you know, IRL lives and don't have time to commit to say, yeah, I will be there every Monday at 8 to log on and play for a few hours. It's hard. That's what I wanted to do. I might want to do it again soon because like my character is up to like level 62. I'm like a rear admiral now. I think that's like the highest rank you can get in Starfleet. It's like I want to make a new character and start over, or start one of the other factions. Like I want to be a Klingon, or I want to be a Jem'Hadar. Try something different for once instead of going with the established one. But man, it's just really hard to get people together and interested. Because it's a lot. It's a big time sink, a big time investment in it too.
Plus all
like,
the scheduling,
even me being like 18, 19,
terrifies
me. I can't do this.
Like the idea anymore of like something being like that scheduled, just terrifies me. Like I'm sweating bullets every time we have this thing, and this is every 2 weeks. Because I'm what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Me too.
And then, like, going back to game days is like, oh, shit, here we go with this. So I'm feeling it. I couldn't do things with MMOs these days. I'd be like, I don't know, on more pills than I'm on now. I know that for sure. But going back to the whole community thing, because I feel like I was being called out a little bit on that one. Yeah, I was one of the people that was going around like hardcore, like PvP. I had a choose partner, and we were just like setting up, yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, we're going to roll some bitches. And we would go in there and do that. I did have a dude that I talked to. I had like a gem crafter dude where I knew he was on. I would just whisper him and be like, hey, I need some gems done. Same price as usual. Got that from that dude. So I had a few set up where it was like purely gameplay. But I did some fun stuff. I did some interesting stuff. You may not know this, but there's different pets that you can collect in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, and mounts and things.
So, yeah, I was big on the mount collecting and pet collecting. At one point, they put the sunflower from Plants vs. Zombies in the game. And yeah. I feel like I need to log into my account and show people. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How would that work? Because that's Plants vs. Zombie.
It was a limited time thing. No, this was pre-EA. This is right before EA bought them.
That's crazy.
So they were just like independent.
Yes.
You could probably like sell these things and make real money at this point if they're
You'd have
old
to,
and grandfathered.
You'd have to sell the account.
Patrick, baby money, college fund. Come on, let's go.
I can't do that. But now I want to get on there. I want to get on there, and I want to show everybody the sunflower because it exists. And every once in a while, she stops and sings the first few lines of the Zombies on Your Lawn song. Like, I'm not fucking crazy. This exists.
That's cool as shit.
I went through, there was like some different things you had to do, like on various farms, I think in, oh fuck, what was that starting farmland area called? I can't recall. It's near Stormwind. Somebody in chat help me.
So, do you know how many hours you logged in the game? Like, does that still keep track?
Yes, you could do /played and find that out.
Okay, I need to
want to know.
Oh god, now I'm gonna have to do 1 month subscription to find this stuff out, aren't I? I'm fine with it.
No, you can log in. Like, they let you like play so far or so much for free, I think, at this point.
But all my characters are super way high level.
You gotta see. Just check it out and see what you can do to the extent of free. How about that?
Johnny's looking up the sunflower. Because there was
I'm looking at the map of Azeroth. I'm trying to
remember you're trying to find that.
Oh my god, did you guys watch the WoW movie?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I
did.
Like, no one talks about it. Like, I didn't hear any reception of that film at all, but people were jazzed about it. But I never heard like the aftermath, good or bad.
I hear critics didn't like it. The big fucking issue with that I'm gonna start bitching about is and here we go. I'm gonna start bitching. They were comparing it to Lord of the Rings, which I don't know why critics would do that.
Because it was the closest thing to it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
the closest thing that they've seen.
I think like you can compare it to like, oh, there's that D&D movie that came out last year. Like, that's a kind of similar mood. I don't know.
But honestly, if they pay attention to anything, because also I'm going to admit I read some of the World of Warcraft books as well, and I played Warcraft 3.
Okay.
If you look at like one of the biggest bads in the history of Warcraft is the Lich King. So if you pay attention to the story of the Lich King, he resembles Darth Vader much more than anything from Lord of the Rings.
So, hold on, real talk. Are you, what, I don't know the terms, are you like the Alliance or the Horde? Who are you? Who are you with?
A bit of both.
I don't think I ever made a Horde character at all. Maybe I think I maybe made a troll once just to see the other side of the map that I never went to. But I was always Alliance. I was like pretty much always human. I don't think and there was like a few times I made a dwarf, but most of my playtime was going towards a human.
Wild.
And you actually hit it when you called me a level 50 paladin because I was close to level 50 on my main as a
Boom!
paladin.
I'll take that as a victory.
So you got my class ghost, yeah.
No,
so yeah, I was boring bitch. I was a boring ass bitch human paladin always, or human rogue, or human whatever.
Yeah, I started human paladin on Alliance as well. I moved into healing and found out that was my big thing early on. So I was just straight up heals pretty much all the time. And anybody who's played World of Warcraft knows that that is a bitch to do. So there is a mod that you can add on there. There's an add-on where basically it puts like various bars on the screen where you can just click and it'll start the spell to heal people. I had a setup where there was like a quick, alt click, blah, 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 to help with that. And if I'm playing other classes where I can't do that, that's why I have my Razer mouse with all these buttons on the side. I wish I could show you all. There's 12 buttons on the side.
Awesome.
I can't play the game without it. Like, I'm pretty sure I'll curl up and die.
Max how you play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I don't have that, I'll just die. But I went over to the Horde after a while, at least for PvP, because I've learned one thing. And sorry anybody in chat who's playing Alliance. Alliance fucking sucks for PvP. They don't know what the fuck they are doing. They just don't. Like, you get, like, a Capture the Flag, or Alderrock Valley, or anything you think of, and they fuck off. They go fight in the middle, they do not try to do the objectives, and then you've got Horde that just go right by them, and like, okay, easy win. So I switched over to Horde, started immediately improving, getting wins, did well in Arena. Then I got really bored with Paladin because it was like, well, I'm winning a lot. I want to do something else. So I tried Warlock, Undead Warlock on Horde. And that was really cool. Really awesome. And I actually, for a little bit, did have a guild and did talk to people and everything. But in terms of being anonymous, nobody will ever know that it's me. I don't go into like Discord chats. I don't go into message boards. I don't do anything like that. You don't need to know. All you need to know is just, I'm an undead warlock.
And you just kick ass.
Damn right.
Did you ever have a reputation playing the game? Like, did either of you have a reputation playing online games? Let's be real.
I had a small rep when I was working on one server because there was like this little scrappy Horde guild that started up, and they were like, we have some ambitions, we want to do this and that. And I was like, well, what about having a dedicated PvP group? And dude was like, well, are you wanting to run it? Like, sure, I'll run it. So I helped a bunch of people who really didn't know how to PvP and turned them into just warriors. I mean, fucking throwing it down. We were chasing Alliance away in certain areas. We were doing so good. And so I think it was a little bit of a reputation that we were building where we would just show up and just fuck with them because we could. But at the same time, that just means you're being a dick, but it's a PvP server, so you're supposed to. I don't know. What's the morals on that?
Some trolling. Like, there's some joy to trolling in games or just, like, goofing around. So, like, I don't blame you, and that's okay. It's just part of the nature. It's like human nature is to troll and just, like, assert dominance in these fighting games.
Well, oftentimes they would jump you first, so that's my defense. They would do it first. They would jump me first if they had the opportunity. So I was getting in there and I was getting my strike on before they got their strike on. It's just the way I'm seeing it. And then I don't want to go too long with this with World of Warcraft, but in terms of like the role-playing aspect of the game, because like you were saying, a lot of people are just playing it for gameplay stuff. Let's talk about, I can't remember the name of the server, but holy shit. Anybody who's pretty you know the game pretty well. You probably know which server I'm talking about. You can help me out here. But there was an RP server, roleplay server, where it was just horny motherfuckers from end to end. I mean, like all day long. You couldn't have a normal conversation on there. It didn't exist. Like if you went there to just have a normal conversation, not happening. Somebody would come in there and like RP that they're like humping your leg or some shit. It went wild. Or if you were trying to do trades, sorry, that doesn't exist on this server. You could be somebody's basement slave if you want to be, but you can't trade.
Stop.
No, I'm serious.
That shit. This is the stuff I live for.
Like, you could go into Stormwind, and it was just like the chat was going wild with it. Just wild. And then there's a little starting area right outside of Stormwind that you could go to. And, you know, it's kind of got, like, nice little village vibe to it and everything. Going wild there, too. You had to completely leave the whole fucking area before people calmed down. And I don't know, maybe they were somewhere else doing it too. Maybe Orgrimmar was 1,000 times worse than Stormwind, but holy shit. Everybody was horny as fuck on that one.
That's hysterical.
It was a bit frightening. And before somebody says anything, I went there because I heard about it. And I'm like, is there truth to this?
This is not real. Oh, God. The horrors.
Like, oh, shit.
Yes, are people actually fucking in here?
It was that insane.
You just had to know.
Yeah, well, once you find out, you can't unfind out.
The terrors of the internet. The internet.
Yeah, modern day MMOs are just kind of, I don't know, man. I know that World of Warcraft is having an expansion soon because, well, now Microsoft owns them and they're going to, whether it's a good idea or not. But I don't know. I think they're kind of dead in the ditch a little bit. 14 is still chugging along. I don't think it's doing nearly as well as it was, though, right?
People are still super crazy about it. Like when I went to AFO in June, they did like a big release, and there was so many people that are like, "I'm happy to be here, but I'm not playing Final Fantasy." Like it was repeated so many times, and these are, I would say, like the demographic is like people. It's like elder weebs, like definitely like 30s and 40s. Like that age range, and like they're all like low-key bitching that they can't play Final Fantasy right now, but we're at a convention.
Yeah.
It was a thing all weekend, and I'm not joking. So yes, there are those people.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure the hardcores were always hardcore. There's still hardcore WoW folks, but I mean, I don't think there's as many as there have been traditionally. At least I would imagine. Wordman asks, how's Final Fantasy 11 these days? Still alive?
No clue.
Wouldn't know, but I know it's still alive.
Hey, I do want to give props to all the people that keep their own servers if like the official servers shut down for things, let alone like there are older games that are still running those servers. I don't know how they make money.
I'm
surprised that there is like a somewhat workable build of old FF14 running.
I'll give him props.
I watched someone's video where it's reviewing all the Final Fantasies, and then they were like, "Oh, what about the original?" It's like, "Well, the original's been nuked." He's like, "Nope, I got a working copy of it." Like,
no. So when I was working at Sears, towards like the end of college, dude. So like my Sears discount extended to Kmart, and like, oh my God, there was still like only a handful of Sears for a while there. And when the old Kmart was still open, they still sold for like $50 sealed in the jewel case on the shelf Final Fantasy 14 like original. Like it was still being sold like 6-7 years ago in stores.
Wow.
Because it was Kmart and that's all they fucking had.
But the issue with
I was so tempted to buy it.
Well, I mean,
so tempted, but I don't know.
Right, but the issue with it is the moment you installed it and try to do anything with it, it would immediately update. So somebody has to have
True.
the OG code and make sure that it just doesn't update or do anything like that. There's been quite a few World of Warcraft servers that are like that, so you don't have to pay the monthly fee. Quite a few I just said that. Wrath of the Lich King service specifically, because I know Wrath is like the big one that everybody liked, but the problem with that, specifically because they're not charging any money or anything like that, is sometimes these servers become like crazy unstable and they don't have the money to hire anybody to fix it. They don't know how to fix it themselves. And it usually goes to shit after a while. But it is important that we have people who continue to have the original code of everything, because WoW Classic was created because people kept the original code of World of Warcraft. Blizzard didn't have it. And that was one thing that they were saying for a very long time. They were saying, oh, you guys really don't want that. You think you do, but you don't actually want it. Mm-hmm. And the truth was they didn't have the code. That's what it was. Because it's crazy for any business to say, oh, customer wants this. No, they don't. And then not give the customer what they want because they'll pay money for it. It doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And the reason being is because they didn't have it to give to you. They then got it from somebody. I think there was, I don't know if there was a deal or if there was a strong arm where they said it's ours anyway, hand it the fuck over, but it led to WoW Classic. And then I think at this point they're up to, what is it? WoW Classic Kata right now? It might be WoW Classic Cataclysm.
Maybe they're catching up. Oh wait, if WoW Classic Cataclysm is reverting back to the way the regular WoW is, why would you go to Classic if you just play regular WoW? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they have a server for each version. You have Classic, and then they have Classic BC, then Classic Wrath, then Classic Kata. Okay. Yeah, they're doing that for all of them.
That makes sense.
It's weird, but it gives you, like, if you just want that OG experience that you had back then, it's probably the best way to get it. It's not exactly a 1-for-1, but it's close enough. And there's also the really nice, at least when I last logged in and played the game, there's the nice feature where if you're starting a character from scratch, you can choose your leveling experience. Like, do you want to level like you were playing Mists of Pandaria? You can choose that. Or do you want to level like you were playing Wrath? You could choose that. So that's really cool. I give them props for everything they've tried with it, but I just don't know.
A lot of MMOs do that. Like with Star Trek Online, like you can flip your difficulty and that will actually affect like your progression to the game. So like if you want to set it to like, you know, what most MMOs have, they have that mode. Or if you just want normal, which means you want to go at a casual pace, or they have easy if it's just like, I just want to experience the story, just go for it.
Liz is back.
Actually, now that Liz is back, this is kind of derail, but when she mentioned Sears, it drew something into my mind. I don't know if y'all had this in the US, but like there's a series of commercials. So I hope everyone knows, like, you know, actor Mike Myers. He's Canadian.
Yes.
Wayne's World, voice Shrek.
Big deal.
So his brother worked for Sears Canada for a very long time, like 36, like some odd years. In 2014, they filmed a commercial together where like the crux of it was like just to let people know that Sears was still a thing and that they weren't going anywhere. And it's like Mike Myers is like, so hey brother, he's like, so rumors are true, is Sears in trouble? And he's like, no, Sears is fine. 3 years later, they filed bankruptcy.
Dude, like, Sears is such a cult, like working there. So there was so I worked in like Hardlines. I sold like tools and like fitness equipment and like lawn and garden stuff. Okay. I wasn't quite appliances. I didn't want to do commission. Like, fuck that. You made no money at Sears.
No, I don't.
And it's death. It's not worth it. Okay.
No.
And so we had to put up all like they had like an advertising like rotation, and like for that quarter or something, they had all these banners all around the building, in the ceilings and outside, that was hashtag seriously Sears. So that people would buy garbage from Sears and use hashtag seriously Sears, not like seriously Sears, like, yeah, cool. They would be like, seriously Sears, ? Like, my new dishwasher broke in a month. Seriously Sears? Like, there was really bad PR moves. And then one of my best friends, her dad was like working HR at Sears, and he like noped out at a point like 10-ish years ago where he saw the decline. And like, I don't know, I had all the weird dirt on Sears that like, it's just like funny internal things where it's like, what? Like, why did they make these decisions? Like, everything was terrible.
That's corporate business for you.
Sorry to derail there, but I just thought that was funny. Like, oh man, I remember when Mike Myers and his brother said, "Yeah, Sears is okay. Sears will be around forever." 3 years later, oh, guess that's the end of me.
So bad.
No one's around forever except Nintendo. Nintendo would be around forever. If something goes wrong video games wise, they'll just switch to something else, like they've done half a dozen times now.
Exactly.
Or maybe they'll like bring back things that people actually want and then make up the money.
It's what they do. See. Well, I think we are getting a little long in the tooth here, so I don't want to wrap it up without giving everybody an opportunity to say anything else that they have in mind for MMOs.
I mean, they're good. If played in moderation, they're good. They're a good social event or a social gathering thing that you can do. But again, like, keep it in moderation. Don't let your virtual life become your real life.
In it.
Yeah, it's a lot of time and a lot of money investment too, especially the ones that still charge the subscription fees like WoW. Most of them are now free to play there, so it's easy just to jump in and get a taste for it and not have to worry about committing money or time to it. That's kind of why I think I gravitated towards Star Trek Online, because like once that went free to play, I was like, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. No, there's quite a few, and yes, don't jump into something to the point where it's just eating you alive and you're making decisions like, oh, there's stories I could tell, but I don't think I should tell them on here. I think I'm going to leave those alone. But yes, I have seen it happen to people. It's not good. You don't want to see it happen to anybody. So play in moderation. Tell your friends and family to play in moderation. And I think that is the parting wisdom that we're going to give you here as we say, that is it for this episode of the Reset Button. Play your MMOs responsibly, or we will yell at you. All right, that's it. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. We love you. Bye.